Why Are There So Few? Romans 11, 3-25. By Pastor John Frederickson. Perhaps every grace believer has asked the question, why are there so few grace churches? After all, we have the truth. This relevant question has several answers. We need to be doing a far better job of evangelizing the lost and sharing mystery truths. We need to be more faithful to instill a deep conviction for grace truths in our families, so our message is not lost in future generations. We are also likely very near the rapture. Paul taught that, in the last days of grace, people would become more resistant to God's truths. However, if we focus on the question of why there are so few grace churches, we will miss the more important issues. As Paul addressed the setting aside of Israel in Romans chapter 11, he recounts the history of the Jews in the days of Isaiah. Like Elijah before him, Isaiah believed, "I am left alone," Romans 11, 3. He felt like he was the only one left following the Lord. But this wasn't what God wanted the prophet to focus on. Nor did the Lord want believers in Paul's day, or ours, to focus on the sea of unbelief. Isaiah was to be encouraged to know he wasn't the only faithful believer. God had 7,000 others, Romans 11, 4. Isaiah may not have known them, but they existed nonetheless. As Paul discussed the unfaithfulness of Israel, there are several more things to see. His readers needed to look for God's sovereign purpose being accomplished in these events. He told them the fall and diminishing of Israel resulted in the riches of the Gentiles in our present dispensation of grace, verses 12. Moreover, God was using the salvation and transformation of Gentiles to provoke them, Israel, to jealousy, verses 11. Likewise, our focus today should not be on the negative of so few responding to the gospel or remaining true to grace teaching. Instead, we should focus on God's sovereign purpose of using us to accomplish His will. Moreover, Paul continues by sharing his steady focus on fulfilling his mission as the apostle to the Gentiles and seeking to win souls whenever, and wherever, he could. VSS 13-14. He warned believers not to be proud or high-minded, VSS 20-25, as one of the few who are doing what is right. Instead, remain humble and faithful to the Lord. Forget about how few there are of like precious faith. Stay focused on being used of God to complete your personal spiritual mission.